A lovely good evening and welcome to Camnet TV main news today, Monday, the 13th of January. In the year 2025, let's now begin to look at the headlines. Government denies UN sanctions and rejects media claims. Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, awards United Arab Emirates firm 2026 ballot deal and drops South Africa's REN-FORM. KAYUMBA battles Electoral Commission of Zambia over PAMBASHE nomination. In international news this evening, MONDLANE caused protests and disputes FRELIMO victory. And in sports, FARS intensify preparations as CHAN approaches. Join me for these and many more stories after this break.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GOVT, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
To present Camnet TV news in detail, I'm Tapelo Joe Smarter. Government has disclosed that Zambia has not been blacklisted from the United Nations Human Rights Council, contrary to media reports. Addressing the media this afternoon, Permanent Secretary for International Relations and Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Etambuyu Gundason, refuted the claims made by the Daily Nation newspaper. She clarified that the United Nations General Assembly has not considered or adopted any resolution for Zambia's suspension or removal from the Council, as Zambia is currently not holding a seat on the Council. Ms. Gundason emphasized that Zambia intends to contest for a seat on the Council during the United Nations General Assembly elections in 2026 under the African States Region quota for SADC for a 3-year term beginning January 1st, 2027. She reassured the public that Zambia remains committed to cooperating with the United Nations human rights experts of the Council, who continue to report and advise countries on human rights situations worldwide. Meanwhile, the United Nations in Zambia also refuted the article, describing it as inaccurate and misleading, and clarified that Zambia's absence from the Council list does not imply blacklisting, but simply reflects the country's decision not to seek membership for the 2023, 2025, and 2024 to 2026 terms. The article, published on Monday, claimed that UN had sanctioned Zambia for human rights violations.
Current status and candidacy. Zambia is currently not a member of the United Nations Human Rights Council. Zambia has not been expelled from the United Nations Human Rights Council. Zambia is currently not holding a seat on the UN Human Rights Council. Further, Zambia, you should know, was a member, an inaugural member, when the Human Rights Council was first established. Zambia was a member from 2006 to 2008. Zambia is now vying for membership for the term 2027 to 2029, and the elections are scheduled in October 2026. Zambia remains committed to promoting and protecting human rights at both national and international levels, and Zambia continues to uphold standards in line with these commitments. Now, in terms of the claims made that are misleading, I would like to categorically state that Zambia has not been blacklisted or sanctioned by the UN Human Rights Council. Please note that for any country to be removed from the Council, it requires a vote to be triggered in the UN General Assembly. So there's a process. So we must emphasize that. Zambia has not been blacklisted and has not been sanctioned by the United Nations Human Rights Council. Further, in terms of Zambia's commitment to human rights, we continue to cooperate with the United Nations Human Rights Council and all the mechanisms that have to do with the human rights engagement.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has awarded a 3-year contract to Al Ghurair Printing and Publishing of the United Arab Emirates to print and deliver ballot papers and other election materials for the 2026 general election. The contract was officially signed on January 10, 2025. This follows the termination of a previous contract with South African company REN-FORM CC due to its failure to comply with key requirements outlined in the solicitation document as per section 184 of the Public Procurement Regulation. Speaking during a press briefing in Lusaka, ECZ Electoral Officer Brown Kasalo clarified that awarding a contract does not constitute its finalization and that the Commission reserves the right to engage the next ranked bidder in cases of non-compliance. Mr. Kasaro also revealed that the ECZ will launch a 60-day nationwide voter registration exercise in the second quarter of 2025 aimed to enhance electoral inclusivity by empowering all eligible Zambians to register and update their voter details. The upcoming exercise will complement the ongoing continuous registration of voters program currently active in 30 districts across the country, which allows citizens to regularly update their information ahead of the 2026 elections.
However, the Commission could not proceed to execute the contract with REN-FORM CC of South Africa. This is in line with Section 180, subsection 4 of the Public Procurement Regulations, which states that, and I quote, "A procuring entity shall, where the recommended bidder fails to conclude a contract or provide performance security or other action required by the solicitation document, and now the contract award and award the contract to the next ranked bidder, subject to the bidder being qualified with the prior authorization of the approval's authority." End of quote. Members of the public may wish to note that a decision to award a contract does not constitute a contract, and that a procuring entity may proceed to award the contract to the next ranked bidder where the recommended bidder fails to comply with an action required by the solicitation document. This is provided for in Section 72(3) of the Public Procurement Act, number 8 of 2020, and Regulation 180, Sub-Regulation 4 of the Public Procurement Regulations. Arising from this, on 2nd December 2024, the Electoral Commission of Zambia Procurement Committee granted authority to engage the second best evaluated bidder. The Commission therefore wishes to notify the public that Al Ghurair Printing and Publishing of the United Arab Emirates has been awarded the contract to print and deliver ballot papers and other election materials.
And now in education news, where the National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NACAZE, has urged the government to expedite the disbursement of free education grants to public schools, warning that delays could cripple preparations for the 2025 academic year. NACAZE Executive Director Aaron Chansa told Camnet News that the Ministry of Finance and National Planning must prioritize resource mobilization to ensure smooth operations in schools. He emphasized that delayed funds could compromise teaching and learning, leaving students and teachers unprepared for the new term. Dr. Chansa further appealed for consistent communication with schools when making critical decisions, noting that unplanned delays disrupt the education sector. Meanwhile, Minister of Education spokesperson Kundamando, at a media briefing in Lusaka, revealed that government has disbursed 700 million kwacha to all schools in the country. She explained that out of the 700 million kwacha, 300 million has been allocated to secondary schools, 200 to primary schools, and the remaining 200 to district education board secretaries, DEBs, and colleges of education.
Government has not been able to fund schools, and yet schools are opening tomorrow. This has put head teachers in an awkward position. It has also compromised the preparations for term 1, and this is coming amidst the fact that this is a term where government is beginning to implement the new curriculum. We have noted that government has been very consistent supporting schools financially from 2022 up to now, and this lapse is something that is worrying to us, and would like the Minister of Finance to clarify this anomaly, and also to begin to proactively inform head teachers about any challenges that might arise along the way. Otherwise, schools are going to face a lot of challenges this week and the weeks to come, because without funds it becomes very difficult for schools to run smoothly.
Versus an amount of money that goes to the over 13,000 schools that we have in the country. Over 10,000 primary and over 3,000 that are in secondary. So as per tradition, we have disbursed money that has gone to the schools. Funding came through last week, and the permanent secretary responsible for administration, Ms. Noriana Muneko, signed off that grant that goes to all the schools last week. Today, as we speak, the money has hit the accounts. The money has hit the accounts of all schools. So now, depending on the kind of bank that the school is with, they may get it earlier than the other school, but the facts on the ground are that we have disbursed money that has gone to the schools.
The Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD, has raised concerns over the government's decision to allow provincial ministers to appoint Constituency Development Fund (CDF) committees. Speaking to Camnet News, ZCSD Programs Manager Zebis Mumba warned that the move undermines transparency and accountability in managing the CDF and risks politicizing an initiative meant to empower local communities. Mr. Mumba suggested that provincial ministers should focus on oversight roles, ensuring funds are used effectively rather than interfering in committee appointments. He also urged the government to prioritize capacity building for local authorities, equipping them with the necessary skills and resources to manage and disburse CDF funds efficiently. The CDF initiative, introduced as part of Zambia's decentralization agenda, aims to empower grassroots development. However, concerns have grown about political interference, promoting calls for stricter governance mechanisms to preserve its integrity.
And we believe as a council that we should be all alive to the provincial ministers' dealing with political and administration of respective province, and giving him this task we feel is misplaced. Notwithstanding the other concern that we have, that while the minister can be picked as a person to appoint the committee, where do the recommendations come from? Because I think as a minister is so much on the apex of the province, and coming up with the Constituency Development Fund Committee seems to be so much on the ground. So what mechanism is placed to come up with the issues of really looking at the committee member recommendations? Who gives these recommendations to him? And we also believe that he will be solely looking at these recommendations without basically having a clear touch on the ground, because it's at the province. And we believe.
We now go to Chilanga, where the Chilanga Town Council has disbursed over 5 million kwacha to beneficiaries of the Cash for Work program, aimed at mitigating food insecurity caused by the 2023-2024 drought. According to Council Secretary Grayson Sakala, the over 5 million kwacha has been distributed to 12,111 beneficiaries between September and December 2024, leaving a balance of 3,994,642 ngwe from the 9 million kwacha allocated by the Ministry of Finance. Despite the progress, the Council has faced significant challenges. Mr. Sakala says delays in the submission of beneficiary lists by the World Development Committees, WDCs, affected payments to 1,071 beneficiaries in November, while incorrect personal details, mismatched names of national registration cards, NRCs, and mobile money accounts, and the use of relatives' phone numbers further delayed payments. Meanwhile, the Council released 850,200 kwacha to clear outstanding November payments, ensuring that beneficiaries from Mount Makulu, Kalundu, Chinyanja, and Mundengwa wards are paid today. However, December payments for 4,256 beneficiaries remain pending due to delays in receiving funds from the Ministry of Finance.
The Council has engaged a total of 12,111,000 beneficiaries and disbursed a total of 5,070,726 kwacha. This leaves a balance of 3,994,642 kwacha. In September 2024, the Council recruited 715 beneficiaries and disbursed a total of 393,600. In October 2024, recruitment increased significantly to 3,519 beneficiaries, with payments amounting to 2,111,400 kwacha. For November 2024, a total of 3,621 beneficiaries were recruited, and the first round of payments was made to 2,550 beneficiaries across 8 wards, which are Chilanga, Chilongolo, Mwembeshi, Nakachenje, New Farms, Namalombwe, Nyemba, and Kasupe ward. The amounts which were paid out were 1,530,000. However, a total of 1,071 beneficiaries from Mount Makulu, Kalundu, Chinyanja, and Mundengwa wards were not paid in November due to delays in the submission of the beneficiary lists by the WDCs. As of today, which is the 13th January 2025, the Council has released 850,200 to Indo-Bank to clear the outstanding payments for November.
We now go to Northwestern Province, where 7 Philippine nationals aged between 40 and 55 years have been arrested for indecently assaulting 13 Zambian females in Solwezi. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says a group of Philippine nationals employed at Kansanshi mines have been luring young girls and taking them to various lodges within Solwezi town for alleged prostitution-related activities. Mr. Hamonga says upon receiving a tip-off from members of the public, police swiftly mobilized and searched a named lodge where the suspects were found in compromising situations with the females in separate rooms. He says the suspects were immediately apprehended and are currently held at Solwezi Central Police. The police has since assured the public that the matter will be thoroughly investigated, as the country strongly condemns any form of exploitation, abuse, indecent assault, particularly against vulnerable individuals.
The Zambia Police Service wishes to inform the public that Solwezi Police Station is holding in custody 7 Philippine nationals aged between 40 and 55 years. The suspects have been identified as follows: Zaudi Alacon, Michael Lontino, Deo Mundo, Vincent Barbaras, Jonathan Neumido, Taiwan Jonad Paniro, and Edwin Rosas. Additionally, 13 Zambian females whose ages are yet to be established are also in police custody for their protection and as part of the ongoing investigations. The foreign nationals are facing allegations of indecent assault on females, while Edwin Rosas has been charged with an additional offense of assault on police. Statements have been recorded from the females and medical examinations have been ordered to verify their ages. Brief facts of the case are that on Sunday, 12th January 2025 at approximately 08 hours, officers from the Criminal Investigation Department received credible intelligence from concerned members of the public. Reports indicated that a group of Philippine nationals employed at Kasanshi mine had been luring young girls and taking them to various lodges within Solwezi town for allegedly prostitution-related activities. Acting on this information, police swiftly mobilized and surrounded Lukuma Lodge, situated in a low-density area of Solwezi. A search at the premises revealed the suspects in compromising situations with the females in separate rooms. All involved parties were immediately apprehended and are now in police custody. The Zambia Police Service strongly condemns any form of exploitation, abuse, or indecent assault, particularly against vulnerable individuals. We wish to assure the public that no stone will be left unturned in investigating this matter.
The opposition Citizens First candidate for the PAMBASHE parliamentary by-election, Ezekiel KAYUMBA, has taken legal action against the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, accusing it of unfairly disqualifying his nomination. In a petition filed before the Lusaka High Court, KAYUMBA argued that the ECZ invalidated his nomination papers despite him presenting a certified 2021 voter's card. He further alleged that the commission failed to publish both the original and amended nomination timetables in the government gazette as required by law. The Citizens First candidate also claimed that ECZ showed bias by allowing the UPND candidate to rectify a failure to provide the required 15 supporters after their time slot had already expired. Mr. KAYUMBA is seeking a court declaration that the ECZ decision was illegal and void, and he has petitioned for a new nomination date with a properly gazetted timetable. Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili has warned that he may impose stricter bond conditions, including the withdrawal of the passport for Opposition Patriotic Front faction Secretary General Raphael Nagachinda, to ensure his attendance at court proceedings. Magistrate Chiwili issued the caution after Nagachinda failed to appear in court, citing travel to Ghana to visit an unwell colleague. Mr. Nagachinda is facing one count of seditious practices contrary to Section 57 of the Penal Code. The charge stems from alleged statements he made on September 26, 2024 through a Kanele FM Facebook page, accusing President Hakainde Hichilema of directing law enforcement agencies to search former President Edgar Lungu's residence to distract from an ongoing constitutional court case. During the hearing, Nagachinda's surety Porokoso Member of Parliament, Brian Mundubile, informed the court that the accused traveled to Ghana 5 days earlier and was delayed due to flight challenges. However, State Prosecutor Mildred Muchimba argued that the explanation was speculative and lacked proof of travel or a return schedule. Magistrate Chiwili noted the absence of concrete evidence supporting Nagachinda's claims, but granted him the benefit of the doubt, given that this was his first absence. The court warned that any future absence would not be treated with leniency and hinted at the possibility of enhancing bond conditions, including the requirement for Nagajinda to seek court permission before traveling. Still in court news, the Lusaka Magistrate Court has heard testimony from a Japanese businessman who claims he was swindled out of 150,000 United States dollars by former Kasama Member of Parliament Kelvin Mutale-Sampa. Kunihiro Fujishima testified before Magistrate Irene Wishimanga that in 2024 he entrusted Mr. Sampa with $70,000 and later an additional $80,000 for the purchase of gold. According to Mr. Fujishima, the transactions were based on trust and friendship cultivated over 13 years of acquaintance. Mr. Fukushima revealed that he and his associate Satoshi Sakamoto met with Mr. Sampa and his team at Fozu Apartments, where they were shown gold bars and assured the deal was legitimate. But after making payments, the promised 5 kilograms of gold was never delivered. When Fukushima confronted Mr. Sampa, he was directed to a safe allegedly containing their money, which 2 weeks later was opened at East Park Mall, only for Fukushima to discover bundles of fake US dollar notes. The victim in this case testified that Mr. Sampa blamed the scam on a friend and suggested reporting the matter to the police, and were both detained after filing for the complaint. But the promised gold never materialized. The testimony comes as Mr. Sampa faces 4 charges, including theft by agent and illegal possession of forged banknotes, offenses he pleaded not guilty to. As we continue in court news, Opposition Forum for Democracy and Development, FDD President Edith Nawakwi has failed to appear before the Lusaka Magistrate Court in a case where she faces 4 counts, including threatening violence and abduction. The matter, which came before Magistrate Ami Masoja, was scheduled for continued trial. However, Ms. Nawakwi's lawyer, Tresford Charlie, informed the court that his client was admitted to the University Teaching Hospital, UTH, the previous night after an early admission at Forest Park Hospital over the weekend. Mr. Charlie further stated that the offense was yet to obtain a medical certificate confirming her admission, but would endeavor to present it to the court. But Magistrate Chilangwa, while granting the adjournment, emphasized the importance of the defense producing hospital documentation to substantiate the accused's absence. Continued trial has been rescheduled February 17, 2025. Ms. Nawakwi is facing allegations that between August 31, 2021 and September 1, 2022, she threatened to kill Milton Hatembo and Feluna Hatembo with intent to cause injury or harm. She is also accused of abducting the Hatembos from Choma to Lusaka during the same period, intending to secretly and wrongfully confine them against their will. Igna Koryagina, a distinguished associate professor from Russia, has underscored the power of global partnerships during her visit to Lusaka for the 2024 International Multidisciplinary Conference. Dr. Koryagina, an expert in international development, highlighted the BRICS framework as a key driver for economic and cultural collaboration while addressing sustainable development goals. She also spotlighted initiatives like the BRICS International Municipal Forum, calling it a vital platform for investment and knowledge exchange. This first working visit to Zambia marked a significant step in strengthening Russian-African relations, paving the way for future cooperation in science, culture, and business. The conference, Zambia's premier academic event, drew high-profile delegates, including Education Minister Douglas Siakalima and 100 speakers from 20 nations worldwide.
Russian Export Center actively cooperates with businesses and government entities both in Russia and abroad, helping to minimize risks and overcome barriers to international trade. First, I would like to highlight that under the Made in Russia brand, they gather the best products from all industries and regions in Russia.
And that particular story takes us to our first set of commercials, but do join us for international and sports news. When we come back, please do stay tuned.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GOVT, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. REN Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Thank you so much for still joining us on the Camnet TV News Desk. And now, in international news. Mozambican opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has ignited a wave of political tension, calling for a 3-day national strike this week. This follows his dramatic return from exile, which sparked clashes between his supporters and police in Maputo. Mondlane alleges last October's elections were stolen, dismissing FRELIMO's overwhelming victory as fraudulent. In a fiery Facebook post, he urged Mozambicans to mobilize as the new parliament convenes ahead of Daniel Chapo's expected inauguration as president on Wednesday. Here's a roundup of international news.
Mozambican opposition leader Venancio Mondlane, whose return from exile last week sparked confrontations between supporters and police in the capital Maputo, has called for 3 days of protests this week. Mondlane insists he was robbed of victory in last October's elections, which saw the FRELIMO party officially awarded a huge win. In a Facebook post late Saturday, Mondlane urged a national strike as the new parliament prepares to sit from Monday, with FRELIMO's Daniel Chapo due to be president on Wednesday. Chapo, a 48-year-old former governor with no state experience, will succeed outgoing President Felipe Nyusi. Provisional results have shown that Chad's ruling party has won 2/3 of the seats in the legislative election, which was boycotted by many in the opposition last month. Results of the December 29 election seals the country's transition to constitutional rule more than 3 years after Deby seized control following the sudden death of his father and long-standing predecessor Idris Deby Itno. Deby's party, the Patriotic Salvation Movement, secured 124 of the 188 seats at the National Assembly. The participation rate was at 51.56%. The vote, which also included municipal and regional elections, was Chad's first in more than a decade. But opposition leader Success Masra's Transformateur party and several others boycotted the election, saying the vote was skewed and lacked transparency. The government has denied this.
Russia has sent an emergency task force in the southern Krasnodar region as an oil spill from 2 tankers in the Kerch Strait continues to spread. President Vladimir Putin called on authorities to ramp up the response to the spill, calling it one of the most serious environmental challenges. The 2 tankers were carrying more than 8,000 tons of mazout, a low-quality oil product mainly used in power plants, when they were damaged in a storm. First of all, we need to clear a path to the ship. The distance is considerable. We will do this in the next 24 hours. We are literally making a decision right now on how to do this, what forces and capabilities we will use. If we succeed, we will circle the ship in that time, so to speak, and pile up sand. Officials in Russia-occupied Crimea announced a regional emergency last weekend after oil was detected in Sevastopol. That came a week after officials in Krasnodar made a similar announcement. Ukraine has criticized Russia's response, accusing Moscow of only acting when the scale of the disaster became too great to ignore. The Kerch Strait is an important global shipping route, providing passage from the inland sea of Azov to the Black Sea. It has also been a key point of conflict between Russia and Ukraine after Moscow annexed the peninsula in 2014. Russia's emergency ministry said Saturday that over 155,000 tons of contaminated sand and soil had been collected since oil spill out of the two tankers during a storm 4 weeks ago in the Kerch Strait, which separates the Russia-occupied Crimean Peninsula from the Krasnodar region.
And finally, in sports news this evening, the Football Association of Zambia first president Andrew Kamanga expressed optimism about the upcoming draws for the African Nations Championship (CHAN), scheduled to take place on Wednesday in Nairobi, Kenya. Kamanga says the draw will play a crucial role in the team's international preparations by identifying their group opponents. He emphasized the importance of knowing the tournament's base as the team gears up for the competition that showcases the continent's best local talents in one venue. In his weekly column entitled The President's Corner, First President Andrew Kamanga urged sports administrators to enhance security and crowd control to ensure stadiums across the country provide a safe and family-friendly atmosphere. Kamanga states that in alignment with FAR's zero-tolerance policy on hooliganism, judicial bodies will be encouraged to impose strict penalties on offending clubs. He says some unpleasant acts witnessed at local games have affected international matches, leading to a CAF fine. And that particular sports item brings us to the end of this edition of Main News on Camnet TV. But before we go, a quick recap of stories making headlines. Government denies UN sanctions and rejects media claims. Electoral Commission of Zambia awards Arab Emirates firm 2026 ballot deal, drops South Africa's REN-FORM. KAYUMBA battles Electoral Commission of Zambia over PAMBASHE nomination. Our international headline, MONDLANE calls protests and disputes FRELIMO victory. In sports, Football Association of Zambia intensify preparations as CHAN approaches. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Isaiah, chapter 41 and verse 10. It reads, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." That ends the reading and that ends the main news on Camnet TV. But dear viewer, do remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel. Now, on behalf of the entire production team, I'm Tapelo, Joe Smarter. Good evening and God bless.
Get all the latest